everybody, I'm Ashley with South Down Yoga. Thanks for coming back and joining me again today. A lot of you watched my first video yesterday, and I'm so excited that a lot of you are excited about this chair yoga adventure we're going to be on. So today I want to focus on hips and hamstrings. If you are finding yourself sitting at a desk in a chair for a lot more time than you're used to right now, because maybe you're stuck at home, I want to help you combat some of the tightness and muscle failure and joint discomfort that can happen with sitting for long periods of time. So there is a term that I don't love, it feels a little unpolitically correct, but it is the secretarial spread. And I think you can visualize what that means. As women were coming into the workforce, a lot of them were coming in as secretaries, and they spent long days sitting at a desk, talking on the phone, and using their typewriters. And they weren't getting up and moving a lot. And so what happened to this area of their bodies is that everything softened. So the muscles weakened and they kind of just went bleh. And then, fat piles on, but also the skeletal system starts to change. It just kind of relaxes and loosens. And that can be super problematic for your joints. So if you find yourself sitting a lot during the day, you've got to do things to keep this area moving and toned. And that's what I want to work on today. So we're going to start with a really simple motion. It's just rocking side to side. And what you can do to make sure you're getting enough rock is see if you can slide a hand under each side of your seat, under your sits bones every time. What you're doing here is loosening up your sacroiliac joint, that's your tailbone, and that area can get really tight and locked when you're not moving and then be incredibly uncomfortable. So this is a great thing you can do while you're at your computer, perhaps typing or reading an email. Maybe not on a conference call, that might be a little awkward. People might wonder what you're doing. But this is something super easy to do throughout the day that might help loosen up that joint if you're feeling a sort of locked tightness there. So it's a great place to start. And then we're going to go ahead and loosen up the hips. So interlace your fingers underneath that right thigh, right behind the knee. Flex your feet, spread out your toes, and then go ahead and make some big hip circles. You're using the strength of your arms to move your leg. This is not a leg strengthening exercise at this point. This is just trying to get your hips to move to all of the edges. So the biggest circle you can do, keeping the foot flexed and your toes spread. And then go ahead and switch directions. Then I want everyone to bring that knee up pretty much as high as you can get it. Pull your belly button in, sit nice and tall, lift your chest, drop your shoulders, and then pass that leg back and forth between your hands. Give it a little tug out to the side, a little tug across the center line, and then do it without your hands. Now you're using your core a little bit and the muscles, your hip flexor and some other parts of your hip. And then let's grab that leg and we're going to take it across for a twist. So the ankle goes to the outer edge of that other knee, the foot is still flexed, and then you want to take your elbow and hook it around the knee. If you can't quite get there, you can do a forearm or your hand. But you're going to hook and then sit nice and tall. What we're aiming for here is a gentle spinal twist, but also some stretching in your outer hip. If you're not feeling a stretch, perhaps it's because you're not sitting tall. So everyone go ahead and slouch for me. No stretch. And then sit nice and tall, straight spine, and you'll feel the stretch. This is a great place to think about your breathing. If you could breathe in and out through your nose, that's what you're going to want to do. And I would suggest counting your inhales, about 4 counts, 5 counts in, and 4 or 5 counts out. So go ahead and give that a try. In. And on the exhale, you can unwind, unhook that foot, interlace your fingers behind the thigh again, start to straighten out your legs, straighten out your arms, and with that leg straight, pull your belly in, lift your chest, and let go. And then we're going to do a little twist here up at the hip. Your foot's going side to side, the motion's all happening in your hip, nowhere else, and you're slowly lowering it to the ground. And then when that heel touches the ground, keep the foot flexed. You want your legs straight, but not jam straight. The knee won't like that. And then we're going to inhale our arms up and exhale forward. And keep doing that with me. Inhale up, exhale forward. Inhale, Exhale. Moving the arms quite a bit here as well, so you get some good motion in your shoulders. And this time we're going to inhale. And then the exhale, reach up. Start to tilt forward with a straight, strong spine. And when you feel that stretch in your hamstring, bring your hands down to your knee. And like we did with our twist, let's try an experiment. Everyone slouch and round your back. You completely lose the stretch in your hamstring. So now lift your chest, straighten your spine, and you can feel the stretch in your hamstring. If, unlike me, you have very flexible hamstrings and this stretch is doing very little for you, you can go ahead and tilt your tailbone up just a little bit, and that increases the stretch quite a bit. And once you're settled in, this is a great time to focus on breathing again. Let's go ahead, inhale that left arm up. On an exhale, take it across your center line toward the outer edge of your foot. We're not trying to reach all the way down there. That'll ruin our stretch. Still sitting nice and tall, straight spine, but just adding a spinal twist, and then breathe. Everyone take a breath in. Exhale, reach just a little further. And then inhale, bend both knees, arms up. On the exhale, drop your shoulders away from your ears. Touch down arms, palms are facing each other, active hands. Pull your belly button toward your spine, and then hold here and breathe. Keep that belly button pulled in, nice tall spine. Inhale, reach up, and exhale, bring it down. All right, now we gotta do the other side. We started with our rocking. You don't have to revisit that unless you really want to, but let's go ahead and pick up that other leg, interlace the fingers below, big hip circles. Flex the foot, spread the toes out, and again, really use those biceps, those strong muscles, to pull your leg up. Legs are heavy, so this is a little bit of an arm workout, right? And then switch directions. Using this hand to kind of give it a tug across the midline, making sure that hip is moving a lot. You might hear some snaps and some crackles and some pops, and that's okay as long as it doesn't hurt. All right, then we're gonna sit tall, both hands underneath to start. Chest is lifted, belly in. Go ahead and pass that leg side to side. Just moving the hip in directions it's not moving when you're sitting all day long, right? No hands. Try to keep that chest lifted, don't collapse. And then we can take it across. Ankle on the outer edge of the knee, flex that foot, sit tall. Again, hook the elbow, forearm, or hand, whatever is comfortable for you. Sit tall, chest is lifted, twist. And breathe. You also might want to check in with your forehead and your jaw and make sure none of those things are being clenched. All right, let's all take a big breath in. And exhale, unwind, grab that leg, let it go fully extended. Look, my foot's still flexed, you guys. Engage the belly, sit tall, let go, and that twist from the hip. So your foot's moving, but only because you're twisting at the hip, not because you're moving your foot. Slowly lowering. Heel hits the ground, foot is still flexed, try to spread your toes. And again, no jammed knees straight, just a gentle straight. Inhale your arms up, exhale forward. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. This time we'll come up. Exhale and reach. Tilting forward till you find your stretch. Hands come to that bent knee. Chest remains lifted. If you need to tilt your tail up a little bit to increase the stretch, you can. This foot stays flexed. Relax your shoulders and breathe. Let's inhale that right arm up. And exhale, reach it across, just toward the idea of the outer edge of your foot, keeping the chest lifted and the spine straight. Little twist. It shifts where the stretch is happening in your hamstring. Settle in and breathe. Everyone take a big inhale. Exhale, reach just a little bit further. And inhale, arms up. And exhale. All right, the next thing we're gonna do, you do need a block. So if you haven't grabbed one yet, pause the video, grab one, or grab something like it. Those paperbacks work just great. So we're gonna put the blocks between our knees, not too far up. We don't want it between the thighs. You want it right there so your knees are pushing in the center of the block. And I'm gonna go ahead and turn sideways so you can see my body angles. You guys stay facing the camera. So we're gonna do our sit down, or stand up, sit down drills here. You're gonna squeeze your block with your knees, activating your inner thighs. They're part of the core, and we need a strong core to be good physical people. So we're gonna be here, pull the belly in, lift the chest. And your arms can be a number of different places, but the main thing we're gonna do is lift to here, not all the way up, to just a nice chair pose, everything tight and engaged, chest lifted, shoulders are down, and then we're gonna sit. And we're gonna do that 10 total times. So here are some modifications and alterations here if you need to change how this works for you. If you think, gosh, I need a lift, you can always push off the chair a little bit and come back down. Some people find having their hands on their thighs helps them a little bit as well. You can use the momentum of your hands if you need it, but if you don't need it, don't use it. Otherwise, you can have your hands out in front. More challenging if they're up high. Somewhere in the middle is these I Dream of Genie arms, right? All kinds of choices for you. So decide where you think you're gonna want your arms. Go ahead, give that block a nice squeeze between your knees. Everyone, take a deep breath in. And then exhale up and down. Keeping that belly pulled in and the chest lifted, and we're doing this with control. Inhale as you come down, exhale up. That's 8, we're counting backwards. 7. Belly pulled in, squeeze your knees. 6, nice and controlled. 5. 'All right, we'll do one final stretch here. It's going to be a good spinal twist and also stretch out those inner thighs that you just used. But you've got to listen very carefully to my cues. So let's start. Feet really far apart, hands on your knees. And you're going to go ahead and take your left shoulder and drop it across the midline toward your right knee. Then that left hand is going to push the left knee away, and you're going to open your chest toward the right and get a nice twist as well as a stretch. And then we come up and we'll switch sides. So now it's your right shoulder coming toward your left knee, that right hand pressing the right knee away, and you get a nice twist and you drop into it. So you should feel some good stretching up the sides of your spine, stretching the inner thigh. Really great full body exercise here. So then I like to move through them. So we'll inhale to sit up and exhale, switch. We should push that opposite knee away. Inhale up, exhale, push it away. Inhale up, exhale. So just keep doing this, inhaling as you come up and exhaling as you settle into the stretch. This is one of my all-time favorite exercises and stretches. And you can do this anytime during the day when you're feeling super tight and like you just need some motion. And because you're coordinating your breath with the movement, it's also a nice time to maybe just close your eyes, breathe, and move for a moment. When we come to the other side, we're going to go ahead and hold that stretch. So there we are, pressing that knee away, nice twist, pushing up with this hand over here to really extend the spine and stretch. Breathe. So I'll take a deep breath in. Exhale one last time on this side. Then inhale up. And exhale, switch, settling into the other side and into your breath. One more inhale on this side. Exhale, sink deeper. And then inhale to come on up. And walk your feet back to center. And that's our practice for today. Let's end with a couple big breaths. Inhale your arms up and overhead. And exhale, hands to heart center. One more time, inhale. And exhale. Thanks for joining me today and just trying out this chair yoga thing. Have a great rest of your day. Namaste.